The classroom buzzed with chatter as students settled into their seats. It was just another ordinary day at Westwood High until it wasn't. Ms. Carter, the strictest teacher in school, paced back and forth near the blackboard, her sharp eyes scanning the room like a hawk looking for its prey. Then her gaze landed on Jacob. He was standing near his desk, clutching his worn-out backpack straps. Jacob wasn't like the other kids in his class. While they came in wearing the latest sneakers and carried expensive gadgets, Jacob's clothes were simple, his hands rough from working on his family's farm before and after school. Ms. Carter's lips curled into a smirk. "Jacob, what are you wearing?" she asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Jacob looked down at his plaid shirt and faded jeans, confused. Just my clothes, ma'am," the class snickered. "Ms." Carter folded her arms. "Your clothes look like they belong to someone from the 1800s. And that hat," she motioned to his straw hat, which he had placed on the desk. "Are you planning to plow a field in the middle of class?" Laughter erupted across the room. Jacob's face burned, his fingers tightening around his backpack straps. He wanted to disappear. "Maybe if you spent less time playing in the dirt and more time studying, you wouldn't be struggling so much in my class, Ms." Carter added. Her words cut deep, and Jacob could feel every pair of eyes on him, judging, mocking. He swallowed hard. "I helped my dad on the farm before school," he mumbled, barely audible. "Ms." Carter waved him off. "Excuses won't get you anywhere in life. Now take a seat before you embarrass yourself any further." Jacob lowered his head and shuffled to his chair. The laughter eventually died down, but the humiliation sat heavy in his chest. He kept his eyes glued to his notebook for the rest of the lesson, not daring to look up. That night at dinner, Jacob's father, Mr. Wallace, noticed his son was quieter than usual. "Something wrong, son?" he asked. Jacob hesitated, but then relayed the events of the day. His father listened carefully, his expression unreadable. When Jacob finished, his father exhaled and leaned back in his chair. "Don't let people's words define you, Jacob," he said. "Hard work and kindness will always speak louder than mockery." Jacob nodded, but the embarrassment still lingered. He didn't know that the next day, everything would change. The following morning, students filed into class as usual, but something was different. A strange sound rumbled in the distance. At first, it was faint, but soon it grew louder, whirring, chopping through the air. The noise sent a ripple of confusion through the school. Then, outside the classroom window, a massive helicopter descended onto the school field. Students gasped, pressing their faces against the glass. Even Ms. Carter paused mid-sentence, her chalk hovering over the blackboard. The side door of the helicopter swung open, and a man in a tailored suit stepped out. His presence was commanding, his movements precise. He walked toward the school entrance with purpose. Moments later, the principal's voice crackled over the intercom. "Jacob Wallace, please report to the front office immediately." Every head turned toward Jacob. His heart pounded as he slowly rose from his seat. What was happening? With hesitant steps, he walked out of the classroom, feeling all eyes on him. When he reached the office, the suited man was waiting. He extended his hand. "Jacob Wallace?" Jacob nodded, shaking his hand cautiously. The man smiled. "Your father asked me to come meet you. I am Daniel Reeves, CEO of Reeves Agriculture, one of the largest farming equipment companies in the country." Jacob blinked. You know my dad?" Daniel chuckled. "Not only do I know him, but I owe him. Years ago, when I was struggling to get my company off the ground, your father helped me when no one else would. He shared his land, his resources, and most importantly, his wisdom. He didn't expect anything in return, just wanted to help." Jacob's eyes widened. He had no idea. Daniel continued, "I came here today to return the favor. I heard what happened in your classroom yesterday, and I wanted to remind you and everyone else that being a farmer's son is something to be proud of." Just then, the office door swung open, and the principal led Ms. Carter inside. Her face was pale, her usual confidence shaken. Daniel turned to her. "Ms. Carter, I understand you belittled Jacob for his background. I wanted to personally come here to say that the same farming families you mock are the ones who put food on your table. Without them, this country wouldn't survive." Ms. Carter opened her mouth, but couldn't find the words. Daniel turned back to Jacob. "Your father's kindness changed my life. And now, I'd like to offer you a full scholarship to any agricultural university of your choice when the time comes." Jacob's breath hitched. "Are you serious?" Daniel nodded. "Hard work, integrity, and kindness will always take you further than cruelty and mockery." News of the event spread like wildfire. By the end of the day, everyone knew what had happened. The same students who had laughed at Jacob the day before now looked at him with admiration. As he walked back to class, Jacob felt something different. The weight of humiliation had lifted, replaced with a quiet pride. He took his seat, this time sitting a little taller. Ms. Carter didn't say much for the rest of the lesson. But as Jacob caught her gaze, he could tell she had learned something that day too. And as for Jacob, he finally understood what his father had always told him. Hard work and kindness would always speak louder than words.